welcome to Focus on the Community. I'm your host tonight, Robin Doan. I'm an agent with McMahon Hatter Insurance Incorporated, and thank you so much, McMahon Hatter, for letting us have our show tonight. I have a very special guest, someone that everyone in Pensacola is going to want to know and want to meet. I have Gina Melason here with us today, and she is the founder and just very active and involved in the Gulf Coast Citizens Diplomacy Council. So welcome tonight, Gina.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being a guest with us. And because I know you have a ton of stuff to share with us tonight, tell us a little bit about how this project got started and how you brought it to Pensacola, because this is a really neat story.
Well, the program itself is the U.S. Department of State International Visitor Leadership Program, and it was actually started in 1940. And it was started as an effort to combat Nazi propaganda efforts in Latin America. So there's a long history with the program.
Absolutely.
And it's International Visitor Leadership Program, the IVLP. And in the beginning, it just brought in a few journalists, and today the program brings in almost 5,000, a little under 5,000 up-and-coming visitors every year to
Pensacola.
No, to the United States.
To the United States, okay.
If we had
and you've had hundreds.
We've had hundreds.
We'll get to that. But you've had hundreds in Pensacola. But not thousands.
Not thousands. I began in 2003 working for the New Orleans Citizen Diplomacy Council, and I started volunteering there, and I soon was hired there. And when I moved to Pensacola, I continued working for the New Orleans Citizen Diplomacy Council long enough until I started hearing from people in Pensacola, that's a cool job, but why aren't you doing it for Pensacola? And then I started hearing it from people in D.C. That's great.
Why aren't you doing it for Pensacola?
Yeah, that's great. You're still doing that for New Orleans, but what are you thinking? So I got, I don't know if you call it brave or crazy, but maybe a little combo. But in 2000,
kind of like when they asked me to do this show.
Yeah. In 2008, I decided that I really wanted to get, because I was here and not in New Orleans, not with international visitors, I wasn't very hands-on, and I wanted to get hands-on again. And so in 2008, I approached some people in Washington, D.C. and asked them what it would take for us to have our own council here locally. Because this program that the U.S. Department of State has is phenomenal, really. But the visitors, these up-and-coming and current opinion makers, will not come to or cannot come to a community unless there is a nonprofit such as ours to sponsor them. And the nonprofit has to be a member of the National Council for International Visitors. So in 2008, I spoke to some people in Washington to find out what we needed to do to bring the program here. And what I heard, the first thing I heard was, it can't be a Gina effort. It has to be a community effort. And so I had a community icebreaker, and I invited local leaders, government and nonprofit and business and the university, and had basically a show and tell. This is the International Visitor Leadership Program, and this is what it could bring to our community. And people heard about it, thought that would be wonderful. How can we get it here? And I said, sign my petition. So that was the first part, and then there was a fairly lengthy application process. And in November 2008, we found out that we were accepted by the National Council for International Visitors to become part of the national itinerary for this program. And in February 2009, we received our first delegation. And we were told, not to have our feelings hurt, because I was so used to the numbers that we dealt with in New Orleans, that I was told, look, don't expect to have hundreds upon hundreds, just something reasonable. And I said, well, what's reasonable? And they said, well, if you get maybe one delegation a month by the end of 2 years, that's a success. So you should focus on that. So that's what we focused on. But
and I obviously didn't know you at all.
By December of that year, so we'd started in February, by December of that year, we welcomed our 20th delegation. So very exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I was just counting today, and I just said goodbye to our 55th group, and hello to our 56th group today.
That's incredible. And just to dumb it down so everyone in Pensacola knows exactly what we're talking about, Gina and a group of leaders across Escambia County, Santa Rosa, in the Pensacola area will actually host these delegations from all over the world. And we're going to see some pictures later and talk about some of the delegations that you've been here, and a lot of them I've met. and they'll actually host them in their home and take them to events, and a huge effort on volunteerism.
Exactly.
So that's right up the alley of this show, talking about community involvement, which is why I'm so glad you're a guest tonight. And it's just a really amazing chance to be exposed to different cultures and different aspects of cultures, because when people have the State Department's visit, that's very different than what Gina does. You have actual people that are community leaders within their own right that actually get to come here and meet and get to greet the community leaders from around here. And it's just a really amazing program. I myself love to travel, and I've really enjoyed meeting the people that you've brought here. So, and
Wonderful.
I'm sure Pensacola is now part of that program that everyone wants to come to, because we've got the beach and 56, and they told you were supposed to have 20. So congratulations, you're a little ahead of schedule, just in typical Gina terms. Well, tell us about some of the special programs. I know I just spoke a little bit about the volunteerism. Tell us a little bit about what happens once the delegation, the international delegation group of people, tell us about how many people come, what ages, and what they do when they get to Pensacola.
Okay. Well, our visitors the groups can range in size from just one visitor accompanied by an interpreter or a cultural liaison officer to a group as large as, say, 24, accompanied by a few interpreters and cultural liaison officers. And the thing is, this program, the IVLP, covers a wide range of topics. So no one program is the same. They might be looking at environmental issues, they might be looking at volunteerism, or grassroots democracy, or how to prevent domestic violence.
So they're coming over here as delegates to actually take the knowledge that they garner here and bring it back to their own countries.
That's right, and also to share what they've learned with people here. And one thing that I really like about the program is that we have these visitors going into local schools. And
that's
so,
great.
yeah, so kids who maybe have never traveled outside the boundaries of Florida are now meeting people from all over the world.
Wow, so it really opens up their exposure and that world map that they see every day.
Absolutely, it makes it
history
real.
come alive.
That's exactly.
Absolutely,
It
which
makes
is
it
so
real.
fun.
And we also, because there is a big emphasis on volunteerism with this program, there are some languages where the word volunteerism doesn't exist, and emphasizing the volunteerism that's present in America as an important aspect of American culture is a very predominant part of this program. So when these visitors come in, I often try to find volunteer activities that will match what their overall theme is. So if they're here to learn about domestic violence, we might take them to feed the hungry, because that's an example of how to reach out to a segment of our society that needs an extra helping
And
hand.
I think we have some photos, the outreach photos, if we can show those.
We do all kinds of volunteer programs. That's actually a photo of one of our.
We can fast forward. We're talking about we'll talk about delegates right now.
All right. You want me to wait then before we?
We have one here. Okay, tell us a little bit about this.
That is
And y'all leave it on this one for a little bit.
That is a great example of outreach in the community. This was planting seagrasses at Project Green Shores, and this was last January, so January 2009, and this was coordinated by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. And you have visitors here from the Kyrgyz Republic, and also teenagers with Chain Reaction. And so the teenagers came and explained to them what Chain Reaction is and why they volunteer. And these visitors were actually, this was, usually we get much younger people. This was an older group. They were with the university, and they were looking at education issues. And so the children, or the teens, explained what Chain Reaction was, and then they all worked together on an environmental project.
Oh, neat. So they worked on a project.
Now this is an interesting group of leaders from the Saudi Arabian Boy Scouts. And
Oh, wow.
It was really an exciting group because they came to 4 different cities in the U.S. And when they were here, they met with our Boy Scouts, different troops. They did some volunteer activities. They went to a Girl Scout camp. And here you see them meeting with Stride, which is a local mentoring group. And with General Al Gilly arranged this for us that we could meet with the kids at Montclair. And they're just sharing about their world, and the kids were sharing about their activities as well.
Oh, that's great. Well, we're being told we're going to go to a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the really neat delegations that you have and all the outreach that you have.
McMahon Hatter Insurance, we're an independent insurance agency. We don't work for a single insurance company, we work for you. Our professionals listen to your needs, we answer your questions, we help you choose from a wide range of auto, home, and health insurance, ensuring that you get the policies that are exactly right for you. As your needs change, we'll be there with you every step of the way. When it comes to insurance, you have choices. We can help you find the right choices at McMahon Hatter Insurance.
Auto Owners Insurance has been safe, sound, and secure for over 90 years. That's stability you can count on. Contact your independent Auto Owners Insurance agent today.
Hi, and welcome back, Pensacola. I have a very special guest here tonight on Focus on the Community, Gina Melasan, who is the founder of the Pensacola, I guess you'd call it a chapter, of the Gulf Coast Citizens Diplomacy Council. Just a phenomenal organization that really takes a lot of pride. And let me kind of explain it in layman's terms. You have, Gina's done such a good job explaining at high level. Let me break it down, because I had to do this too for myself. Okay, when you have, this is part of the International Visitors Leadership Program
Yes.
of the State Department. I was taking my notes over here. Okay, and so the State Department has identified several target cities so that when you have international delegations coming from another country, they're composed of people that are looking at maybe how our education works, maybe how we prevent domestic violence, maybe how we take care of the homeless. What they're doing is they're coming over from their country. They're bringing their knowledge of how their country's program works. And then what they do when they get here is they pair it with how the Pensacola area and how American systems over here in the identified cities, how Americans work to combat the same issues in our own United States. So how'd I do on explaining it?
I think that was great.
Okay,
That
good.
was
So
great.
it's all about the pairing. And so before we left for break, what we were looking at was a huge focus of this program is learning about how volunteerism is such a big part of the building blocks that make our country great and the building blocks of America. So we were going to go back to some pictures, and Gina's going to keep explaining some examples of how these delegations have come over here and gotten some great ideas and actually given us really good ideas about how the State Department can augment the programs we currently have in place. And I think now, is this the Girl Scouts?
This was Girl Scouts, and the visitors we had were with the group. It was multinational, so we had someone from Denmark and someone from Kenya. And this was about a year and a half ago. I think the group was about 12 different visitors, and they were looking at global leadership issues for women. And at the end of their program, we had them meet with Girl Scouts and learn about how the Girl Scout program nationally picks a theme every year to concentrate, whether that's health or healthy body image or
Okay.
leadership issues for young women. And so they learned about that structure, but then they spent some time talking to the girls about their own home countries and entertaining the girls' questions. It was a great experience for everyone. Oh, and that's
It's the mayor.
that's former Mayor Mike Wiggins, and I believe that's a group from Bermuda, and they were looking at special education issues.
Oh, wonderful. A big part of the Escambia County school budget and focus
Absolutely.
is the special education program.
And we take them out to the Lacey Collier Sensory Center or
Oh,
Sensory
wonderful.
Complex quite often. This was a group of Koreans, and many of them in this group were journalists, and they were learning about, their title of the program was called The USA Today. So a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Social issues, education, environment, volunteerism. It was a good group.
Oh, that is so neat. So we've seen quite a few pictures about some of the countries that have been here, and we have, I think, tell me about the delegations that you have in town currently, because you have quite a mix.
Yes, we have 2 in town right now. One is leaving tomorrow, and one just arrived today. And so the one leaving tomorrow, it's 14 people, and they all speak English. And some of them are journalists, some of them are educators. We have some people who are coordinators of volunteers.
And where are they from?
Nepal, India, Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan,
Can you
Kyrgyz
tell me
Republic.
the Kyrgyz Republic and
Okay.
Kyrgyzstan?
Kazakhstan, sorry.
Kazakhstan.
Did I hit everyone? Did I say Pakistan?
Anyway, we just said it now.
I don't know.
Wonderful. Well, welcome delegates if you're
Great.
watching this.
A great group. And
What is their focus?
their focus is volunteerism.
Okay.
And so what we did was we started out, they arrived Saturday night. So Sunday we volunteered along with the Vista Coalition and United Way of Escambia County.
Oh, wonderful.
And we helped to clean up Mount Zion Cemetery.
Oh, very cool.
So we did that. And that was not only an experience in volunteerism, but the Nepalese visitors were very interested in seeing a cemetery because apparently in their country, cremation is what is the norm.
And that's actually true. My brother, when he did his study abroad, lived in Nepal for a
Oh.
year, and phenomenal culture, just a really beautiful place. And I got to learn all about that then. Well, tell us a little bit about, this all came from your dream of bringing this program here. Tell us a little bit about how Pensacolians can get involved and
Okay.
perhaps how they can. So once they get off the plane,
Right?
tell us a little bit about the itinerary and where Pensacolians, if we're interested, could get involved and help you.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like everyone to know about our website. And it's www.gulfcoastdiplomacy.org. And if you go to our website, you can see past programs, what we've done, and you can also find an application for membership because we want we want to be available to everybody who wants to join us.
Right.
We have a membership dues, which do help pay for some.
And they're very affordable.
They're very affordable.
Very
They help
affordable
pay
dues.
for our intern, and they help pay for some office supplies. It's $40 a year is where they start. And what that means is if you are in the community and you want to support us, you may. If you don't want to do anything, you don't have to because we don't have monthly meetings. We do have 2 parties a year. But if you want to get hands-on and if you want to get involved, we have all kinds of opportunities. And I have an email list, and I'll send a blast out and say, I'm looking for 5 dinner tables because we have a dinner we need to host. And so
Right, and so that's one of the ways that we as Pensacolians can get involved, and one of the ways in which Gina is telling me I need to get involved
Yeah.
is that when these delegates come in, they actually they don't like to just stay at hotels. They like to
Exactly.
stay actually and immerse themselves, which is the best way to learn a language and a culture. And so they'll come in and we can actually host them in our own homes, and so they can really get to see how an American family lives.
And so, well, most of the groups all stay in a hotel. So
Okay,
they
so
sleep in a hotel. The State Department provides them with money for their food, for hotel, and for transportation. So there's no burden on the community in that respect. So that's actually a plus for our community because
Oh,
we're
it
getting
is.
extra dollars coming our way. But we have what we call home hospitality nights or dinner with a delegate. And that's when, for example, Sunday we cleaned the cemetery, then the group went back to the hotel, cleaned up, had a few hours of rest, and then that night, local members of our council went up and picked them up from the hotel for dinner. And so
And so you get to
we
interact.
get to interact, and people have fun with this. One of our members he had a journalist for dinner, and so he invited a local journalist to come and join them. I was at a dinner where there were a lot of women involved in volunteerism. So you can be as creative as you want to be. They don't have to be fancy dinners, potlucks, barbecues. They like being able to see
I can do
what
that.
a
Even I
home
can
is.
cook that.
Even you can do that. Even you can do that. It's a no-stress effort. They want to see what a typical American dinner is like.
That is wonderful. When we come back, I think we actually have some pictures of some of these wonderful gatherings when they're actually in Pensacola. Stay tuned.
Now you know you're going to have to feed and water them.
No problem, Daddy.
For all the promises we make, keeping your word is what matters most.
Don't forget to stop by and visit.
No problem, Daddy.
Your independent auto owner's insurance agent knows that. In fact, you could say
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
they were raised that way. Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people.
Honey, are we up to date on our homeowner's insurance?
Relax, we're with McMahon Hatter. That was taken care of months ago.
It's hurricane season. Do you know who your insurance agent is? Not knowing if you have the right insurance can be stressful. But with McMahon Hatter, we can take that stress away. We're a locally owned independent agency. We represent the top insurance companies in the marketplace, which in turn gives you the best coverage. We have the ability to show you multiple quotes and help you save money. McMahon Hatter, your trusted advisor for your insurance needs.
You don't really think about stability until you don't have it. Auto Owners Insurance has been safe, sound, and secure for over 90 years. That's stability you can count on. Contact your independent Auto Owners Insurance agent today. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people.
New shoes?
McMahon Hatter Insurance. We're an independent insurance agency. We don't work for a single insurance company. We work for you. Our professionals listen to your needs. We answer your questions. We help you choose from a wide range of auto, home, and health insurance, ensuring that you get the policies that are exactly right for you. As your needs change, we'll be there with you every step of the way. When it comes to insurance, you have choices. We can help you find the right choices at McMahon Hatter Insurance.
Hi, and welcome back to Focus on the Community. Thank you to our sponsor, McMahon Hatter, where I am an agent with the insurance agency. Thank you so much. Well, Pensacola, I have a very special guest here with me tonight, Gina Malasan, who is the founder of the Pensacola arm of the Gulf Coast Citizens Diplomacy Council, which is actually an offshoot of our United States State Department. And she is actually going to tell us a little bit more about how what the setup is to be involved with the State Department, because I probably just messed that up. You're trying to explain it so well.
Well, we're actually a nonprofit. We are a local nonprofit, a Florida nonprofit, and we partner with the U.S. Department of State and its Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs when they send visitors to us through the International Visitor Leadership Program. And could I explain a little bit about how the program
Absolutely.
is
I was
structured?
actually going to ask you to do that because
Okay.
I have done such a fabulous job of butchering that for you.
No. What happens is our embassies identify up-and-coming and young leaders in the countries where they are.
Oh, wonderful. So this is actually the ambassador in each country.
Or his staff members.
Or his staff,
Mhm.
okay.
They identify up-and-coming young leaders and current opinion makers and invite them
I like
to
that term,
participate.
the opinion maker. So this
Yeah.
might be not necessarily someone that holds an office,
Right.
A government office, but
Right.
someone that just really controls a lot about how the community thinks and feels. Am I doing that right?
That's right. We get a lot of journalists, teachers, leaders in various fields.
Oh, wonderful.
And they can't apply for the program. They are invited to be a part of this. And so the program itself has a really some really nice statistics and some really some names that you would recognize. For example, Margaret Thatcher, when she was young and up and coming, came to the program.
Oh, wow.
Came to the country through this program.
So that's the kind of, it's the class of people that we're really bringing through here, are the up-and-coming leaders.
Right.
Fabulous.
Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, Nicolas Sarkozy, they all, when they were up and coming, came to the U.S. through this program.
Wow.
Anwar Sadat, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That one is a really good one.
Yeah.
Very influential.
So we never really know, well, they're young and up and coming, so you don't know who they're going to be in the future, but we know now that they're leaders, and as I mentioned, current opinion makers. So they're invited to participate in the program, and then they come, every visitor who comes to Washington, D.C. for an orientation, and they learn about federalism. They meet leaders in whatever topic they're studying. Their program, each program has a theme. And in Washington, they'll meet the other people who are going to travel throughout the country with them. And the goal is to show the diversity of the nation, along with emphasizing volunteerism. And in that respect, they make sure to go to different regions. So
Right,
the
to
South,
see-
the North, different size communities. And that's where we fit
Absolutely.
in. We're in the South, and we're
A relatively small
Yeah.
community, but a very close-knit community,
Right.
and definitely a community, as you know from our show, that really rallies around volunteerism and really supporting, the different arts, all the different nonprofits, particularly a focus of this community. I know children,
right.
assisting children, and you've already shown us photos of how you've had Boy and Girl Scout councils really meet some of the up-and-coming leaders. It's just a phenomenal program. Well, real quick, I gotta say, how does someone actually get in touch with you? Because they've seen this program and they
Right.
really actually like the idea of broadening their cultural horizons and really getting to meet some of these people, before they even become household names. How could someone like me get involved?
Okay, well, you could either go to our website, which is www.gulfcoastdiplomacy.org, or you could call me at the office, which is 595-1631, Escambia County has generously given us an office space in the downtown
Wonderful.
administration building. Yes.
Yeah, because actually what you were telling me earlier was that these people that come in, the delegates are actually getting to stay at Pensacola hotels.
That's right.
So that
That's
we're
right.
taking advantage of the bed tax there
That's
and
right.
the money that comes in that way.
And they all go shopping, and so
Absolutely.
very many of them actually. I have to take them to go buy a new suitcase,
All right.
and they're all eating
I
in our
remember
local
doing that.
restaurants. So
That's wonderful.
but they can 595-1631 is the number.
Fabulous. And we'll also have a link on the McMahon Hatter website, which is quotepensacola.com.
Oh, and we have a Facebook page.
Oh, Facebook's the way to go.
Fans of the Gulf Coast Citizen Diplomacy Council.
Wonderful. How neat. Well, tell us about the delegates. What do you have on the table for tomorrow for the delegates to do?
Oh,
And tell us where they're from.
Oh, okay. Tomorrow's group, we have 6 coming into town. Well, they came into town this morning. And from the United Arab Emirates, from Luxembourg, from Angola, and 3 other countries. I'm sorry.
That's wonderful. They just got off the plane
They just got
today.
off the plane, and I've just dealt with 14 others, so I have to kind of shuffle. They're looking at how American youth inspire civic participation.
Oh, wow. So,
So-
such a neat part, American Youth Inspiring Civic Participation. I mean, you can just look around Escambia County at all the nonprofits and see that we just
Absolutely.
love to help our children and
Absolutely.
really inspire a whole lot of patriotism. So thank you so much, Gina, for
Thank
being
you
our
for
guest.
having me.
And hopefully you will get a lot of members out of it.
I hope so.
Thank you,
you.
Pensacola, and have a great night.